Is it on?
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the second day of the PGA Expo 2012. I want to thank you for attending today's keynote session. Jim Fannin is our keynote speaker for today. I want to tell you a short little story about how we came across Jim Fannin. For the last couple of years, PGA professionals and attendees have asked us to bring in a motivational speaker and a mental performance coach. Jim Fannin is one of the best mental performance coaches in the country, and we're very happy to have him here today. Before we get started, I just wanted to let all the PGA professionals in the audience to know that you do get one MSR, education MSR credit for attending today. We have two people dressed in black at the entrance here, so if you haven't gotten scanned on the way in, please make sure we scan your badge on the way out. Without any further ado, I would like to introduce today's keynote speaker, Mr. Jim Fannin.
Thoughts and actions of some of the world's greatest athletes and executives. When he speaks, the world stops and listens. He has stood alone as the premier authority on what champions call the zone. Now, with proven success secrets, he's ready to show you how to attract this mindset in all aspects of your life. Having coached more champions than any person on earth, Jim Fannin is the world's #1 coach of champions. His client list reads like a who's who list. Among them are 25 Major League Baseball All-Stars, including 4 Cy Young Award winners and 5 Most Valuable Players, the world's best golfers, as well as 9 golfers to win their first pro tournament, the PGA Rookie of the Year, Olympic gold medalists, NFL All-Pros, NBA All-Stars, a 4-time Wimbledon doubles champion, 7 world's top 10 pro tennis players, as well as thousands of leaders, executives, and owners from 50 industries, all having sought his advice on business, parenting, relationships, and life. Even New York Times best-selling authors and hundreds of thousands of parents and students around the world. Please welcome the world's #1 coach of champions, Jim Fannin.
Everybody stand up, please. I love those 4 standing ovations. I love those. Everybody shut your eyes. I want you to go back in time. I want you to go back to a place where you played golf in the zone. Go to your favorite round. Go to the favorite back 9. Go to the place where you hit every fairway, every green, and every putt was drained. Now open your eyes. Now doesn't that make you smile? Remember that place? That's what golf is all about. My name is Jim Fannin. I coach champions, and for the next hour, I'm coaching Golf 2.0, and I'm glad that he or she is sitting here with me. Please have a seat. You know, every client that I've had in my 40 years of being in business, I've always asked them one question. So why am I here, Golf 2.0? What's the point? What's the point? Why am I here? And we're going to get into Golf 2.0 of really why I'm here, but more importantly, we're going to get into solutions on how to take it to another level. You know, the PGA of America is a great association. It's full of a lot of pioneers. But unfortunately, the PGA also has a few settlers. Now, I'm a hillbilly from Kentucky. I was born and raised in McRoberts Holler, a suburb of Hazard, Kentucky. And Kentucky, we're famous for one thing for sure besides horses and bourbon. We're famous for Daniel Boone. And Daniel Boone, back in the 1700s, cut a swath, a path called the Wilderness Trail, 1775. He was kidnapped by the Shawnee. He was taken prisoner. He got sick, thought he was going to die, but he had a vision that woke him up in the morning and put him to bed at night. And he saw a place in Kentucky that he would settle. And he blazed that trail through the Cumberland Trail all the way into Kentucky. The interesting thing about Daniel Boone is as soon as he settled Boonesboro, it was the largest settlement west of the Appalachian Mountains. 200,000 people in 20 years after that settlement came through that trail to settle in that part of the country. So the question is, 2.0, are you a settler? Are you really a pioneer? And that's the question you need to ask yourself. There's one thing I've realized about pioneers in any industry or any sport. They're different. If you have an abnormal dream, you got to think in an abnormal way. You can't think like everybody else. And PGA of America, you got to make a change. And if you don't, 2.0, it will fail. My director of Jim Fannin Golf and I polled 150 PGA instructors on the phone, some in person. And we asked them a blunt question. So what's this 2.0 about? 90% said it ain't going to work. 90% said it ain't going to work. Same old, same old. Flavor of the decade. What's it got to do with me? We were shocked. And you should be shocked because we're in a different place. We're in a different time. You see, a pioneer is not only disciplined and has a vision. You know, I coached so many champions, 500 professional athletes at the highest level. Interviewing 100 of them, why are you great? What makes you great? I asked a gold medalist. And every one of them said, I not only had a vision, but I broke it down into the essence of what I do. I asked the same thing to Luke Donald. What do you want? What do you want? Top 50? I said, top 50? That's all you want? You don't want more? Well, top 50. Every champion had a vision that was measurable, that was clear, and they broke it down into the essence of what they do. And they all had one distinguishing characteristic. They know the zone. Do you know the zone? The zone, that purposeful, calm feeling when nothing can go wrong. The zone, let me tell you about it briefly. When you're in this mindset, and you can get in it right now, I can walk right down off this stage, take a knife out of my pocket, and shove it into your thigh. You say, dang, man, I was getting some credits. I was up all night gambling. I came to this seminar. Unfortunately, the only seat was on the front row, and the speaker stuck a knife in my leg. But let me tell you what would happen as soon as that blade broke the skin. Your eyes would double or triple shutter speed. Just like that, in a thousandth of a second. Double or triple shutter speed. That way it'd give you an illusion that everything is in slow motion. That way you can escape or fight me. That same feeling happens when the cup appears that big. And you know, some days it looks like it's even smaller, like a thimble. Instantly, when the blade touched your skin, your stomach shut down. You may think you're getting nervous, but you're getting ready to get in the zone. The butterflies is not being nervous. You're wrong. You've been lied to. What happens is the capillaries, the blood vessels, they constrict. It drives all the blood to the brain so you have clarity. The rest of the blood goes to the large muscles. And now you have inordinate quickness, strength, speed, and agility. And you can do superhuman things. And this occurred in a thousandth of a second. Then you have an energy field that expands around you, picking up information, gathering it. And another phenomenon happens when you're in the zone. Your conscious mind that says, "Now that's a 6-iron," it shuts off. You do not rationalize anymore. You do not have any emotion anymore. Now, when you're in the zone state, your subconscious mind takes over. Your intuition comes to the forefront, and a little voice goes, 7-iron. And you're sitting there with a 6, and the little voice says, 7-iron. What do you do? What do? You know you've hit that 6 and went, "Gosh dang it, I knew that was a 7. How many times? Raise your hand. Have you done that? Of course you have. Intuition is real-time information that your subconscious mind does not possess. These are the attributes of what athletes call clicking, in sync, treeing, on fire, netting. There's all kinds of descriptions for being in that purposeful, calm state where nothing can go wrong. That's called the zone. Well, let's hear somebody that knows the zone.
Well, for me, getting into the zone is a very strange feeling. I think it's a feeling when, if I'm on a golf course and I've gone through this stretch of holes where I've birdied every hole or had 4 birdies, an eagle, you kind of come out of that and you think, wow, what was so different? And it's hard to pinpoint, how you get into that zone. And during that time, it's like time freezes, and you have no thoughts, and you just act on instincts. Well, I think playing the back 9 at Augusta on Sunday, I definitely experienced that. I think rolling off a couple of eagles and 2 birdies and being 6 under for my last 8 holes, I definitely got a zone state there.
A lot of great athletes know the zone. But do you know the zone? Are you in the zone, Golf 2.0? So what do you want? Why am I here? Oh, you want 40 million golfers by 2020? Are you kidding me? I thought the numbers were going down. I thought you were almost losing 1 million a year. I'm going to ask you again. What do you want and why am I here? Oh, I see. 40 million golfers. 2020. How are you going to do that? Oh, you think I'm going to tell you? What's the essence of what you do? What's the essence of your craft, Golf 2.0? Oh, to convince people that it doesn't really take that long? You're going to convince them it doesn't really take 5 hours? Are you going to cut it in half and make tournaments 9 holes or maybe 6 holes? All right, I got you. What else are you going to do? What's the essence of your craft? Oh, you're going to convince them it's not expensive. All right. You're going to make it a little bit more affordable for the average golfer, the beginners, the women. Is that how you're going to build up 40 million people? Okay. Oh, and you're going to tell them that it's really not that hard to play. All right. But you know what the essence of your craft really is? It's getting every person that you teach in the zone. The first time you played the game, you went, man, I like this. That felt good when you piped the very first drive. How old were you when that happened? First time you played golf, how old were you? 16. How good did that feel? Were you thinking about technique? No, you were piping it. You went, I can do this. That's the essence of Golf 2.0, is to get every person in the zone. Now, I have a formula on how to do that. But we need to think about what we need to think about first. Go back to your clubs. Go back to your shops. And I want you to listen to what people are saying. You know, Arnie and Jack launched the rocket of golf. Tiger came in and fuel injected all the way to the moon. Pioneers in what they did. And then we settled. We settled. Go back to your clubs and listen to the talk, because the real reason golf took off was word of mouth. Oh man, I played so great today. That course was amazing. I love number 16, how it's cut. I love it. I love playing 16. And everybody told every one of their friends. And they got everybody juiced and jacked up about being in the zone playing golf. Now go back to your club and listen. People bitching and moaning about how bad they putt. They're talking about how bad their game is. Listen to them. I've been going to the clubs in the last 6 months, and I've been doing a lot of talks. Butler National, Medina, in Chicago, where I'm from. And I'm listening to the members. Because I got to tell you, 2.0's not sitting here. Everybody stand up. Until you understand that you're Golf 2.0, it's you. Golf 2.0 will not succeed. You have to look in the mirror and say, can I get my constituents in the zone? Why is it that technology has improved so much in the last 20 years? Why is that the physical fitness of golf has improved? Good Lord, we got golf yoga now. We got golf everything now. And the knowledge of golf, it's never been better. But the handicap of the average person is the same. You tell me, why is that? Because we're not thinking well. Shut your eyes. The people standing. Go back to the zone place of your best golf. Go back there. Now everybody smile. You know what's interesting? As soon as you smile, endorphins are fuel injected into the bloodstream and you feel better. Now, everybody standing, drop your head down to your chest. Think of a very negative thought. I don't want to know what it is. Jimmy's got his own challenges. Hold the negative thought. Keep your eyes shut. Raise your head to the ceiling with the negative thought. Put your head back down. Hold the negative thought. Put your head back up one more time with the negative thought. Now open your eyes and look ahead. I've been doing this silly little exercise for 40 years. 75% of every audience reported the following. When you raised your head, the negative thought either went away or you had to reconstruct it and conjure it back up. But when you dropped your head, that negative thought was robust, concise, and clear. If you experienced that, please raise your hand. Mama was right, wasn't she? Keep your chin up, baby. The best in the world, if they strike out, they raise their chin. Not in arrogance, not in overconfidence. If you raise your chin after a shot, you will not go back and replay it in a negative way, even though you've hooked it into the water. The 5-second rule is one of the rules that helped Luke Donald get to the top. You're only as great as the 5 seconds after every swing. That's how you thread good shots together. You all know one shot at a time, but you all know you haven't done it. Please sit back down. In the 5-second rule, here's what you do. And then we're going to apply the 5-second rule to Golf 2.0. After every swing, raise your chin and act like it didn't happen. That's an option. Golf is slow enough that you could shut your eyes and play a mental mulligan and pipe it right down the center cut of the fairway. And then, after that, you send all of your energy to a hula hoop-sized target to your next shot. Now, and only now, can you thread one shot into the next. But if you violate the 5-second rule by blowing your breath, rolling your eyes, throwing your club, you're in the past. And if you're in the past, you're not in the now. And if you're not in the now, you're not in the zone. The zone is full engagement. I'm sorry. Golf 2.0 does not have full engagement from you or from you. It's like the leadership, the pioneers of your organization have set up what they want to do, but you as an individual says, what's that got to do with me at my club back in Baltimore or in Tucson or in Albuquerque or in Orlando? What's that got to do with me? When you go home and you work on getting your players into a zone and you become an influencer of thought to get them not to go into the past and think about their negativity. The average person has 2,000, sometimes 3,000 thoughts a day. Can you imagine? When you woke up this morning, the meter started. The average thought is 12 to 14 seconds. Sometimes you think about the future, sometimes the past, and sometimes you're locked into the moment right here. If you got the mentally ill day, when your girlfriend's not happy, you got a girlfriend? You got a, well, okay, well, you know, that. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. You know when she wakes up and she ain't happy? When mama ain't happy, the dog ain't happy, the kids ain't, hell, the neighbors ain't happy, right? That's when you have 4,000 thoughts that day with 60 to 70% in chaos. This is normal. Guess how many you have when you're clicking on all cylinders that day? Your best day. Do you have more? Do you have less? You have 30 to 40% less. Golfers of America, we need to go on a mental diet because we got a lot of fat between our ears. We need to eliminate things that don't matter, don't work, and we need to eliminate the past. The champion only goes into the past for swift evaluation. But on number 15, why are you evaluating? That shot's never going to occur again. At that time, on those greens, at that speed, under those conditions, in that climate, with your mindset, eliminate it. To replay it in your mind is a waste. And Golf 2.0 has got to eliminate the past. It's got to lock in onto the future. We have to think about what we think about. I am your drive-up window, and you all are in your own little car, and you're driving up to the window, and you're going to place an order. So if I asked David Adele, I said, David, what can I help you with? Whatever he wants, he could order. What would he order? He'd like to sell more irons and more putters. I already know David. I like to sell a lot of irons, a lot of putters. There's no rules on what you personally want. Let me tell you how every athlete, I've helped them go to the top. I've had 0 failures. Now, I don't take on everybody. I'm pretty picky because this is no elixir that you can drink and just put on the zone like an overcoat. No, you got to work at it a little bit. You got to work at it. Here's how this works. And listen, if you never see me again and you don't remember one thing from this talk, you better remember this. In my opinion, this is the greatest discovery in my lifetime. It's 63 in November. I'll be 63. In my lifetime, this, what I'm going to tell you, is the greatest discovery in my personal life. Why it's not on the New York Times front page, I have no clue. I've believed what I'm going to tell you for 40 years. 24 months ago, it was quantifiably proven. And I'm like, wow, this is awesome. The world is now going to change. And you're going to help me do that. Every thought you have today, every feeling that you have, every sensation that you have, the subconscious mind, which is also open 24 hours, records it. Every thought you have today, 2,000, 3,000 thoughts, it's recorded and it's placed, the recording, in a little retention area. It's held. But it is captured. Every thought. How scary is that? Because you probably had some strange ones being in Vegas, right? Can you imagine those thoughts are recorded? You'd like to burn the tape. I know you would. What time did you get in last night? You know I'm picking on you. When you go to sleep at night, it's then replayed once, sometimes even twice. Why? Well, that way you can store it. If it's important, it's up on the top surface. If it's not important, it's buried into the deepest recesses of your brain. But that is not the discovery. See, what I told you is a fact, an anatomical, physiological fact. But here's the big deal. Every thought that you have, every sensation that you experience, the last 30 minutes before you go to sleep, it's also recorded, but it's replayed 15 to 20 times during the night. Now, how many times you gone to bed thinking about what you didn't want? Oh man, I don't want all these bills. God, my putting sucks. I could go to the best guru in the world. It sucks. And that's replayed 15 to 20 times. How bad you putt. And you wonder why you don't get a good night's sleep, and you wonder why you can't putt. Every member that you have, every lesson that you've given, they go back and take your lesson. What are they thinking about? I can't do it. I don't know how to do it. It doesn't feel comfortable. If we're going to change golf industry with this initiative, we got to think about what we think about. But each of you, if you want to impact your personal life, you got to go to bed thinking only about what you want. Everybody know David Peoples? You know Peeps? Played on the PGA Tour, won 3 PGA events. Great friend, my client. Now on the Champions Tour. He was at my wedding. Awesome guy. Well, Peeps, when he was on the tour, he had one year where his putting was bad. He was like 140, 150 on the tour with putts in a round. I think he was like 32 putt average per round. You ain't going to win a lot of money with an average. That means sometimes he had 35 putts in a round. Not only not win money, you ain't going to be there. You're going to be back home with your wife. So he said, I'm going to the Belly. I'm going to the Claw. I'm going to go see Stan Utley. I'm going to go see Shanahan. I'm going to see all the putting gurus. I'm lost. And I said, let's make a wager. I'm going to bet you 5 figures, cash, that if you're not number one, now this was in December, so the statistics are rolling over. On January 1, we all even. Everybody's tied for first in every stat on the PGA Tour. I bet him that if you're not number one in that statistic on April 1, April Fool's Day, which was intentional, by the way, if you're number 2 or number 30, I'll write you the check, pay you the money. But if you're number 1, you're going to pay me. So let me get this straight. If I'm number 1, I'll pay you, but of course if I'm number 1, I'm going to be making a boatload of dough. But if I'm even number 2, I'm still going to make a boatload of dough, and you're going to write me a check. What's the catch? I said, oh, David, there's a catch. Every night when you go to sleep, you got to go to bed. I'm the world's greatest putter. And we're on the honor system. You go to bed one night thinking something negative, and you didn't think that, you got to write me a check. He said, what else do I need to do? After every putt, in practice or in a round, I don't care if you push it, butcher it, chunk it, I don't care what you do, I'm number 1. Deal? Done deal. I love taking money from my boys on the side bets, as David was number 1 in that statistic with no changes. No New club. No new stance. No new putting techniques. All he did was change the subconscious mind, which controls everything you do right now. All your body language that you don't even know. Baby, I didn't give you a dirty look. Yeah, you did. Baby, I did not give you, baby, I didn't give you a dirty look. And then I see the replay and I go, oh my bad. I didn't mean it though. When is this organization going to stand up and be the most positive organization on the planet with your head up? There are 5 keys, and they must be used simultaneously, that attract the zone. And you also need to know that the zone is not mental. You thought it was mental, didn't you? You think it was mental? Oh, I don't know who you're talking to because it ain't mental. Mental's the byproduct. Did you think it was mental? The zone? I'm in the mental mindset, the zone. It's physical. It's as physical as anything you've ever done. First of all, you have to have stress to get in the zone. So how do you get stress? You need discipline. The willingness, the commitment, Golf 2.0, to stay with whatever the tasks are to reach your goals, to go to 40 million people in 2020. And you need to be committed. It needs to be measurable. Go back to your life. What do you want to do in 90 days? Because I'm going to challenge you. I've got a date in mind I'm going to give you to see what you can do by the end of this date. Once you have these goals, and they're measurable, and they're chosen by you, it creates something called eustress. E-U-S-T-R-E-S-S. E-U is the Greek word for good. Good stress, like euphoria. It's stress that you place on you, on your conditions, on your terms. Nobody else is telling you what to do. This is self-discipline. And let me tell you something. If an athlete I coach doesn't have it, I'm going to be on him like a rash because we got some issues. If I'm thinking about their goal every day and they're not thinking about their goal, I got a conflict with you. Self-discipline. You want to have a vision? 2020, 40 million. You want to have goals. One of those goals is each of you need to get as many people in your club understanding the zone. Let me give you one simple tip. At the end of every one of your lessons, how many instructors are right here? All of you? At the end of every lesson, I would play 2 or 3 holes with no thought about technique. Now, when I'm coaching a top golfer on the tour, and I've helped 9 win their first victory, the hardest victory of all, the first one. They'll go out on the range on the day of a tournament. They'll do their range work, and then at the end of that, they'll play 16, 17, 18. Driver, they'll back away, take as much time as possible, shape their shot, come back in, 7-iron. They play 16, 17, 18. Then they play 1, 2, 3. We've already putt before we start. We don't putt last. But then they do go to the putting green, and they'll make a few 6-footers. They've already lagged. They've already done that first. Now, what they've done, they've gotten into a zone state on the range. I played 16, 17, 18, 1, 2, and 3. Then I walk over, I make a couple of putts, I time it, go right to the first tee box. I'm ready to hit it, and I'm not ready to bleed to get going. You know how sometimes you got to have a double bogey to go, all right, I got to get my act together. Now I'm going to focus. The best in the world definitely don't want to do that. Self-discipline. So let me ask you. You're in the car in the drive-up window. It's April 15th. It is one day after the Masters in 2013. What do you want to accomplish at your club? One day, and that Masters kind of kickstarts the season, gets the juices flowing with your constituents, your clients. What have you done to make your clients, customers, students better? What do you want? There's no rules. You've been trained as a little girl, a little boy. Here's A and there's B. You've been trained to do that? Raise your hand if you've been trained to go, here's A, here's how many golfers we have, and in 2020, here's 40 million. Here's A to B. Raise your hand if you've been trained like that. You've been lied to. You've all been lied to. The best in the world don't go from A to B. Here's what they do. The best in the world, and especially when I was coaching Olympians, Coach Dan O'Brien, who won the gold medal in '96 as the world's best athlete, we went straight to B. We went all the way down to B, and he was on the stand with the gold medal, feeling how he was going to feel, seeing how his family and friends were going to react to him. We went there. We went straight to B. And then we did something very unusual. Reverse engineered the process. So, April 15th, 2013, what are you going to be like when the Masters is over and your clients are in a frenzy because they saw a great Masters? What are you doing on the 14th, the 13th, the 12th? If I could moonwalk, wouldn't that be good right now? But I can't. But wouldn't that be good? I told my wife, I said, I got to learn how to moonwalk. If I could moonwalk from B back to A, the crowd would like that. Anyway, and so here I am. You're visualizing me doing that, aren't you? Am I good? I come all the way back to A, and what happens, that illuminates a pathway like at McCarran at night. And I can see it, but it goes all the way to the finish where most of us fail. So we start on our projects and get to about here, and then we get distracted. We get off course, and then there's no illumination to the finish line to get back on. This is why diets don't work. This is why a lot of your goals have failed. Reverse engineer everything that you do. That's how I do my speech. Before I come out here, I think, what do I want these people to think when they go away by themselves? That is B. And whatever I want you to think, I should have an ending to kind of give you a little boost, and then I back it all the way up, and how am I going to open? The best instructors in the world, the best teachers in the world, this is how they take their students to a place they've never been before. The second key is concentration, but the first one I spent more time on because you got to have goals so you can send your energy somewhere. Concentration. It's energy. I'm going to take you to Africa. I told this story in the workshop, but it'll really make a point about focus. I'm in Kenya and I'm looking over an open plain of impala grazing lazily in a herd. Between the hill that I'm on with photographs of pictures of animals, there's some tall grass. And I look down in the tall grass and I see an amazing animal, a cheetah. And I could tell it hadn't eaten because I could see its ribs. And I see it angle itself off to a young, cocky buck like you. You'd separated yourself from the herd. You're big, you're strong, you're bad, you know? And the herd, they could feel something was happening because their ears twitched and they did the river dance kind of away from the tall grass, but not you. You're too cool. And I'm watching this, and this cheetah angled itself in the tall grass. Couldn't be seen by the young buck. and it shot out of that grass, boom, faster than anything I've seen in my life. And then the most amazing thing occurred. A young mom, pregnant with foal, fell in the path of the cheetah. The cheetah could have stopped and had Chateaubriand better than Wolfgang Puck's cut. I mean, I could have had dinner, no problem. But it leapt over it as if it wasn't there because he had one focus, you. Another young teenage impala jostled in the herd, runs the wrong way, hits the cheetah in the hind legs, knocks him off course, but the cheetah's eyes never left you, and it came over and made the kill. And I was sweating. I was like, oh my gosh. And the herd, after the kill, they just walked away. Bob's dead. They just walked away. We're all hunters. You hunt for more money in the pro shop. You hunt for more lessons. You hunt for the one star that's going to take you to the moon. And you're going to take them to the moon. You're going together. That one young golfer that you're going to hop a ride and help go to a place they've never been. We hunt for love. We hunt for money. We hunt for opportunities. But the question is, PGA, are you the cheetah? You know, the cheetah didn't say, oh man, there's too many of them. Or, I hope I don't get hurt. The cheetah didn't rationalize anything. And the cheetah knew if it didn't focus on one thing, he knew he'd go hungry, because he's gone hungry many a night when he's tried to get them all and take them all. And he lost them all because he only had sprint speed. And once he's done for the day. If you're going to do something special, 4:15, one day after the Masters in 2013, you not only need to get disciplined and find out what that is, but you need to be the cheetah. And that's Golf 2.0. We've talked about the goals. Go back to your clients and deal from strength. Complement what they do well. Make the end of your lesson a zone experience. Stop the negative talk about their game. Stop them in their tracks. You are the influencers of thought, and you are the soul and the mindset of Golf 2.0. This isn't an initiative. This is all about you. You got to look in the mirror. The third key, it's essential. It's optimism. You can believe you're good, but belief won't cut it. If this was the PGA Tour, every player, Tiger, Luke Donald, all of them, Sergio, and I said to the group, will the number one player walk up here right now? If you look around, it ain't you. How about that? The best in the world, they just come forward. Maybe 6 guys would come, maybe 4 would come. But if you're looking around, it's not you. Optimism is a sense of knowing that the task and the goals will lead you to that vision. Now, I'm going to take you back before Luke Donald won the Honda Classic. That was the first tournament he won in a 72-hole event. And we had a lot of work up to that moment. How do you feel you measure up against the best in the world, Luke?
I think, Jim, if you'd asked me that a couple years ago, whether I was able to compete with the best players in the world, I might have hesitated. I might have thought, well, I think they're better than me. But, the last year or so, year and a half, I think my confidence has just gone through the roof. I think I have become a much more confident player on the course. I feel like on any given day, I can be the best player in the world. I can have the lowest round in the tournament round, and it's just a matter of putting those together over 4 days. And there's no reason why I can't be the best player in the world.
There's no reason I can't be the best player in the world. Well, after that video, that interview with me, He quit thinking like that. I am number one. You got to be it long before you get it. You got to be an organization that acts like you got 40 million because it's the greatest game on earth. It's a game of adversity. And adversity, it introduces you to yourself. What a great game. I get to know me. People go a lifetime and die and don't even know who they are. Well, go play golf. You'll figure it out real quick. You'll know who you are. When we went to the Honda Classic, Luke Donald had one goal. I just want to be the best in the world today. And if he had the low round, arguably, no, there's no argument. Unequivocally. If you got the best round, I'm the best player in the world today. I am the man. And that's the mindset of a champion. You have to be it, act it, feel it, long before the accolades, long before the money, long before the rewards. This organization needs to act as the best representatives of the greatest game and not allow one person to talk negative about golf. Aren't you tired of it? Aren't you tired of negativity with your clients? They got to help you, right? You got to help me help you. I had one client when I said, if I talk to you like you talk to you, you'd fire me. That's how bad you talk to yourself. And of course, this is what happens, right? This is how the lion looks in the mirror, or the cat looks in the mirror and says, I am the man. And once you convince yourself of what you can do, especially in the last 30 minutes before you go to sleep, then you'll walk out with a little bit of a swagger. And that's confidence. The fourth key. This key produces serotonin. Everybody stand up. I'm going to give you a short relaxation technique. It's called Breathe Like a Baby. It's very simple. It can be done in less than 30 seconds. It can be done between shots on the course or even in an office. Shut your eyes, unhinge your jaw. Put your left or right hand on your belly button. I want you to take 6 to 8 breaths. Long inhale, hold it for about a half second or second. Long exhale, but let your stomach move your hand. Continue this until I say stop. Open your eyes. It's called Breathe Like a Baby because a little baby you can lay it down, it'll go to sleep because it breathes like this. If you got a dog and you're playing with your dog, then you get on the phone, you turn around, your dog's snoring. It's like, man, how did it go to sleep so quick? Because it's breathing like that through its stomach. This is a technique of relaxation that you can deploy anytime, any place. Please share that tool with your clients. Everybody sit back down. I mentioned the jaw. You cannot be in the zone state unless your jaw is unhinged. It's not possible. If you clench your jaw at impact, you'll squeeze your hand proportionate, the club head will move, and you will not hear a pure shot. The best in the world have their jaw unhinged. That's why Michael Jordan stuck his tongue out when he went to the hole. When the tongue went out, he was in the zone. LeBron does it, Kobe does it, and a lot of golfers are now having slack jaw when they putt or on the tee ball. Relaxation. And then the very last is enjoyment. Enjoyment's important because it shoots adrenaline. It also shoots endorphins into the bloodstream. We need to get the game enjoyable. We need people to play in the zone so that they love what they're doing. And they think only about the positives, and you get them to only think about what they want. And the best in the world deal from strength. If they're a great putter, they work on putting. Luke Donald's great out of the sand. Okay, he works on it. Does he need to? Maybe not as much as other people, but he does. He wants his strength always as a standard. 5 keys, they spell a word, and the word was a fluke, not meant for it to be a word. Golf 2.0, you need self-discipline. I think you have it. A commitment, but you have to be committed personally. Concentration, are you focused on the goals to get people back into the game, into a zone state, so that they have word of mouth talking about it? Are they confident that all the obstacles that took them out of the game or keep them from the game, being too expensive, taking too long, too hard to play, are they confident enough in their play that those things don't matter? That's up to you as an influencer of thought. And can you get people to relax on the golf course? Jaw unhinged. And last, can you get them to enjoy the greatest game on earth? Are you a pioneer? I've read a lot of reports that says, oh, the old guard, they're not going to change what they do. They don't care about the game as a whole. I've read newspaper articles about you. That should upset you. Good. Everybody stand up, and I want you to come up to the stage. Everybody just come up. Come on up. No, just not on the stage, just come up near it. See if you can get up here and move the chairs. I just want to talk to you in an intimate way. I want to look you in the eye. You are the leaders that this organization has been waiting for. Don't think it's everybody in Jacksonville or in Palm Beach. You're the leadership that really adds the rubber to the road to make golf change. And we need to change. I'm going to tell you a very short story in conclusion. Several hundred years ago, there was an island nation. They loved each other. They knew each other. They had generations and generations on this island. They fished. They knew the sea. But it was a volcanic island, and they had awesome fertile soil, and they had an amazing vineyard. And every fall, they had like an Oktoberfest, and they celebrated the year. And they sang and they danced, and the little kids to the great-grandparents all were there. What a happy, happy island. And then one day, an enemy came onto their soil, burnt the village to the ground, murdered, raped, pillaged, took all the spoils, and they left. And the villagers scrambled up into the hills in fear. They were devastated, similar to like what happened to us after 9/11. And then the elders got together, the leadership got together and said, let's rebuild. We're going to make it even bigger, even better. And they did. And they got everybody involved. And they made it bigger and better. The village, the next year, 1 year, the harvest was even more bountiful. And the songs and the dancing, they had risen like the phoenix. And then the enemy came back almost to the day, burnt the village to the ground, murdered more people, and devastated everybody. This time, their psyche was damaged. They went up into the hills and they started talking very negative. They're too big. They're too strong. We're going to have to leave. But my grandmother's buried here. We're going to have to leave. They'll come back next year, and next year, and next year. A young Turk who had lost his mother, bigger, stronger than everybody, looked every man in the eye. Go kiss your wife goodbye and load your boat with weapons and food for a one-way trip. Go now to the sea and meet me there. Go get your boat and load it. David, go get your boat. Meet me at the sea. Hug your family goodbye. Because we're going to their land. We're going to fight them on their soil. They will never set foot on our island again. And then we're going to come back with their spoils. Go load your boat. And they did. They were not warriors, but they were on a mission. They had a purpose to save their families, their honor, their tradition. And it was an arduous journey. The sea was rough, even though they were masters of the sea. And they couldn't wait to see land, but they knew that when they reached land, what their mission really was. And finally, under the cover of dark, in the early dawn, the young Turk gathered his men on the enemy soil, and he looked every man in the eye and said, "Burn your boat." He said, "What?" I said, "David, go burn your boat. There's no retreat to the sea. There is no option but success. We're not going back. Burn your boat. Burn your boat." And they torched their boats with tenacity, with guile, with surprise. They defeated a stronger nation. And they came back in their boats with their spoils. Some of you need to burn the boats of how you used to do business. Lehman Brothers didn't do it, and where are they? There's a lot of companies in this economy that hasn't burned the boats of how they do business. No, they're stuck as settlers in an old way of thinking because it worked. It don't work today. Burn the boat in a relationship that's gone sour on how you've treated your significant other. Burn the boat on how you've talked to a kid that's now not listening to you because she's 14. And you don't even know what's going on in the bedroom, and you've already threatened to take the door off of her room. You can tell I've had a few teenagers, right? How many of you need to burn the boats? Shut your eyes one last time. Go to April 15th, an arbitrary number that I chose, one day after the Masters, and your business is booming. Your clients love you. Your membership has grown, and you have been an integral part of something greater than yourself. You have been a part of an initiative that most feel would fail. You've been a part of not Golf 2.0. You're a part of Golf Success 2.0. The individual successful, the manufacturer successful, you're successful. It's win, 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 win. Everybody open your eyes. My name's Jim Fannin. I coach champions. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure for you to give me your time. I appreciate it. Each of you are champions in your own right for whatever it is that you want. Go change your mind and go make something happen. And let's turn Golf 2.0 into Golf Success 2.0. Thank you very much.